How Fallout 5's location could change its genre. Just as Fallout New Vegas setting gave the game a distinctive western feel, Fallout 5's location could have huge implication for its genre. Assalamu alaikum and what's up everybody, welcome in the gaming desk. Check out the description at the end of this video to watch more and subscribe for more gaming information. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, links to my accounts are at the end of the description below. So, Fallout has always been a post-apocalyptic science fiction series, but the genre of each game is also deeply affected by its setting. Fallout New Vegas, for example, took the game to the Mojave Wasteland, giving the game a distinct western influence as players become noble rangers exploiting the West or cruel outlaws exploiting its people at every turn. Fallout 5's location should have a big impact on its genre as well. While Fallout New Vegas leaned into its backdrop of a revived Wild West, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 didn't take as much advantage of the opportunity to explore how their setting could influence the game genre as well. That's something Fallout 5 could experiment with by investing in a location and genre which could come with them. Chicago mob movies. And guys, I have a video on how to get unlimited money in Cyberpunk 2077 with 3 different methods. If you are interested, make sure to subscribe to watch that. Chicago has yet to appear in Fallout game outside of the intro to Fallout Tactics. Fallout 4 already experimented with the gangster genre with fan favorite companion Nick Valentine, who migrated from Chicago to Boston to help take down notorious mob boss Eddie Winter. Chicago, however, could provide a setting for Fallout 5 to explore the gangster genre to the same extent that New Vegas rooted itself as a western. Some of the most famous early gangster movies were set in Chicago, like 1931's The Public Enemy. Mob movies like the mob itself began to flourish thanks to the Prohibition era, leading to the rise of famous gangsters like Al Capone. Though alcohol can be found all over the Fallout games, the series has plenty of other fictional substances known as chem in Fallout, which could easily provide the basis for bootlegging plot lines. There is a rich history of mob fiction from the 30s through to Scorsese movies and TV shows like The Sopranos, which the developers could engage with and be influenced by. Not all mob movies take place in Chicago, but it's certainly the USA's most notorious mobster city, at least in fiction. It's a genre ripe for Fallout's trademark satirical edge, and gangster-run Chicago could provide a breath of fresh air while still sticking to the 1930s through early 60s aesthetics that the Fallout games are already known for. New Orleans film noir. And guys, the new video is coming on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, 10 tips to get off to a good start as a beginner. If you are interested, make sure to subscribe to watch that. New Orleans would be a great setting for a Fallout game, as it has an incredibly distinct identity as an American city. This city has been a setting for melodramatic noir movies like 1956 Nightmare or 1950s Panic in the Street. Not only that, but New Orleans' famous jazz scene would provide the game with a unique sound, while the city's iconic French colonial architecture would make New Orleans stand out against the other Fallout games even in drones, especially lit up at night. New Orleans is far from the only noir setting seen in movies, but could also add a healthy dose of Southern Gothic influence as well, while also taking players to a rarely see part of Fallout's post-Great War world. A new video is coming on Cyberpunk 2077's DLC plans or a double-edged sword. If you are interested, make sure to subscribe to watch that. California counterculture movies. The Fallout games have already explored California, with Fallout 1 taking place in the southern part of the state. However, Fallout 5 could not only render the new California Republic as a fully explorable 3D world, but could also show something the culture of Fallouts would have seemingly resisted for centuries: cultural change. A game set in California could explore influences from famous countercultural biker movies like The White Angels and Easy Rider to revolutionary dramas like Rebel Without a Cause. Fallout take place in a world where intense technological progress massively outpaced cultural change, and even by the late 2200s, much of the culture still resembles the culture of a post-war American economic boom. California would be a great setting for a new Fallout game that begins to explore some of the change that began to take place in the 1960s as Fallout's inhabitants began to solidify their existence in a post-war world. Fallout has not entirely avoiding the 60s before Dion's The Wanderer featured in Fallout 4 and its trailer showing off the sole survivor. However, a Fallout 5 set in California could explore the aesthetics of the youth counterculture that began to develop as a reaction to the culture of the 50s. While it would go against the Fallout feel to start introducing songs by the Beatles, some of the first countercultural movies, often set in California, could provide a great basis for a transition that is only just beginning to take root. The Pacific Northwest monster movies. Fallout 2 already took place in Oregon, but a Fallout game set in a post-nuclear Pacific Northwest could be a cryptozoologist's dream come true. Washington State is known for its cryptids, from its most famous Bigfoot to a plethora of lesser-known monsters, from Cady the sea serpent of Cadboro Bay to the monster of Patridge Creek. While Japanese monster movies like Godzilla and Mothra would later transform the genre, earlier horror films like Creature from Black Lagoon might serve as a better basis for Fallout 5's genre shift. If nothing else, Fallout's lore and cartoonish way of dealing with mutations makes all of the area's legendary creatures make perfect sense in the game's story. There are plenty of other places Fallout 5 could take fans of the franchise, and plenty of other genres to give the game local favor. The point, however, is that Fallout 5 cannot simply present players with another irradiated cityscape. The Fallout games already present a heightened image of a post-war America that borders on silly at times, from Fallout New Vegas' Wild Wild West to the existence of old-timey Boston mobsters well into the 23rd century. Fallout 5 could explore the aesthetics of pulp comic characters like the Shadow, already heavily referred in Fallout 4's Silver Shroud quest line. The games could take a trip down to sunny Florida, though modders have already made significant progress on Fallout Miami whenever the next game goes. Bethesda needs to make sure it doesn't just incorporate local landmarks, but also invest heavily in the genres of fiction generated in those places. Fallout 5 has not been announced yet. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this. KFC delays chicken bucket console to match Cyberpunk 2077. If you are interested, tap on the small eye on the top right corner of this video to watch that. If you are new here, please subscribe and make sure to tap the bell icon for more gaming information and interesting tips and tricks. As always, thank you all so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care.